Yeah, you talk a lot about, the adult to children ratio and the effect that played. But even going before that, like kind of parlaying into this, one of the things in the book is you brought up in the 50s, it became cheaper to build that 4-bedroom single family home, right? Like the bungalow or whatever it was. And so
Yeah,
the private sector is putting a ton of pressure on public housing, right? Which led
yeah,
to the only way we can do this to compete is high rises. And then
yeah.
the only way to keep them, and again, we're at, cost cutting. I forgot which example, but one of them had like 2 elevators for 1,000 residents, 900 residents, like just a silly number.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Two elevators for 150 units, and
And
lots
they're
of three,
four or
four, and
five
five
bedroom
bedrooms.
units. Yeah.
So you're talking almost 800, 900 people. Right, right, right. So what? Because you guys are real estate guys, I can get a little in the weeds on this. So in the 30s and 40s, one justification for public housing was the private market cannot build a housing that low income people can rent at an affordable price. That the cost to build is just too high. There's absolutely no way someone with a low income could ever, the economics don't work, the numbers don't work. So therefore, we've got to step in. The government's going to build. Well, in the 1940s and 50s, housing costs to manufacture come way down. We get better at mass production. We get better at the tract housing and the suburbs. So in the mid 1950s, there's this congressional hearing, and the Chicago Housing Authority says it's going to cost us $18,000 per unit to build this public housing. And the Washington guys are saying, wait, you can buy a new house in the suburbs with a FHA loan for $15,000. And so why are we paying $18,000 when we could, when the cost to purchase with a profit, with, here are the keys, walk in, it's yours, is $15,000. Now, of course, nobody was talking about taking low income African Americans from Chicago and putting them in suburban FHA housing. So let's deal with race is a fundamental problem here. But it started, so that one of the public housing guys they start to say, well, we got to cut our costs. We got to cut our costs. And they were also measuring costs in a way that was kind of unfair. That $18,000 figure included the cost of preparation of the land. That meant, adding new utilities, et cetera. Now, sometimes you did that in the suburbs, and sometimes the cities were paying for that. So there weren't always fair costs. Today, we have development fees for the suburbs to make sure that new land is developed, that the developer pays that. The impact fees, as we call them. So anyway, but yeah, the idea that the government could do this better was accepted in the 30s and 40s by large swaths of America, because the private sector kind of failed during the Depression. Like the country, the businesses collapsed. There's a feeling that we can, by progressives in particular, we can do this better. Well, boy, that proved to be a bridge too far.